Good evening. Welcome to What's New. Tonight we are going to have a short show, and we have a very, very good company that is here to. It's going to hold an event. So we have the Hoopers. So if you want to introduce yourself and
Sure.
talk about what you're going to do, that would be great.
Okay. I'm Pat Hooper, my husband Tom. We have ASL Pewter here in St. Genevieve on 3rd Street. This weekend we have our annual Early American Life Traditional Artisans Showcase and Sale. We invite artists who have been selected by Early American Life magazine for their directory of traditional crafts, which means that their work has been judged museum quality, to come in and set up in our shop and sell their stuff and talk to the people about what they're doing and why. We brought some examples of some of the work that we're going to have this weekend, and we're hoping that a whole pile of people will come in and meet the artists and see their wares and have a chat. We'll have refreshments and door prize drawings, as we always do. This is our 19th year. So we're pretty excited to have been carrying this tradition on for a while.
Yeah, that's great.
Some of the artists we have been with us before, and we have a couple of new ones. So I'm just going to start at the far end. Most of you are familiar with our work, but that's one of our mugs. We call that Honest Honey, I Only Had One.
It holds about 3 pints.
Spun out of one sheet of pewter with a cast handle that's applied after the piece is spun, and the handle is cast and cleaned up. Next to that, we have what is known as a penny rug. Penny rugs originally were circles of felted cloth called pennies that were stacked and then sewn together. This one has some other applique processes, but you can see down at the bottom the actual pennies on it. Suzette Crummel is our penny rug artist, and she is from Quincy, Illinois. Next to that is the Scrimshaw Pineapple from Mike O'Conachie. Mike has been with us almost every year since we started. She is in Eureka, Missouri, and has been working in her art for well over 40 years. She is probably the premier Scrimshaw artist in the country. Scrimshaw involves literally scratching on bone or ivory, and so that's one of her pieces that she has done. She does all kinds of different designs. She'll be bringing some stuff that is new, so that'll be exciting as well.
She also does Christmas ornaments, small jewelry pieces, bookmarks, and even has some pocket knives that are have bone scales on them that she's scrimshawed with different designs, and she can even customize them with names.
Oh, that's neat.
And she can do custom designs for you if you said, oh, I really have to have oak leaves and acorns, and you don't have one. I need oak leaves and acorns with a deer on the side. She'll do it. She draws way better than I do. The little piece on the table is by Kathy Grafton. Kathy does silk ribbon embroidery, much in the style of medievalists, let alone in colonial America. It was one of the schoolgirl trades. If you were a young woman of a certain social standing, you were expected to know how to do this. Not only does Kathy work on the silk ribbon embroidery, but she also does full tapestry work and is an expert on the Bayeux tapestry in France, and has done panels of the Bayeux tapestry. She's done recreations, and she's also led classes on that tapestry.
In Bayeux.
In Bayeux,
France.
yeah, she goes to
My
France.
goodness, yeah.
And
Now, do you want to hold that up so Charlie can
sure.
get so he can zone in on it? Yeah, that's beautiful.
isn't that gorgeous?
That is.
She just does the most delicate work, and yeah, not what I do. Our glass bottle is representative of the work of our new artist this year. His name is Phil Gilson. He's coming from Virginia, so he's the furthest away of our artists.
Oh, my.
And he is a traditional glass blower working with traditional styles, working with antique molds. Things like bottles are generally blown into a mold. He has molds that date back to the colonial period. I believe this has been in his family for 4 generations.
Yeah.
I think
Oh
it's
my
4
goodness.
generations. He has a cobalt blue that was the blue that was used in New Jersey, which was one of America's first trades
Oh, really? Yeah.
in colonial America, was the glass industry in New Jersey. And he's got cobalt blue from back then
Oh, for
that
Pete's
he
sake.
uses to color his bottles. He does just traditional colors, that's his focus. So the blue, the green, the purple, the red, the amber, that's it.
That's
And the bottle is representative and something that we often think of, but he does bottles and tumblers and then some more fanciful stuff, Christmas trees and things like that. We're hoping it will be not too warm and not too wet, and he'll set up on the porch.
Oh, that would be really nice.
And
yeah.
have all his sparkly, shiny stuff there. Candy Mahurin is, a lot of you know Candy. She's one of our local people.
Right.
She has Sassafras Creek Originals down on St. Mary's Road. But one of the things that she has been selected for the directory for is her band boxes. These are made out of spiraled cardboard and then fabric covered. The fabric is stitched together. This is really traditional. Oddly enough, it is cheaper for her now and easier for her to get the fabric to do these. Originally, they might have been done with wallpaper.
Oh,
But to
my
get
goodness.
period representative wallpaper is more expensive than period representative fabric. So she's using the fabric.
Yeah, that's
And
really neat.
you can see she decorates the inside as well with old newspaper cuttings, which is, again, very traditional. Candy also does game boards in the style of tavern games from the early 1800s. She does Moravian stars. She does some punch needle work. I'm not sure what she's going to bring. She does a lot of stuff.
She does. She's so talented.
She's so talented. And so she'll be set up with us. Our other local artist that'll be set up with us that I don't have anything representative of hers, but Lisa Palmer with her paper quilling
Oh, yes.
will be here.
There was
And-
a beautiful one on Facebook today.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
really pretty.
Yeah, I'm probably going to steal that and post it myself. She does just gorgeous work. For anyone who doesn't know, paper quilling involves taking little thin strips of paper and twirling them. And then you set them down. And then you twirl another one and set it next to it. And you end up with designs. She does earrings, pendants, greeting cards, and full-size pictures.
Right.
I don't know what she's bringing, but she'll be joining us.
Yeah, she's very creative also.
And she has
Oh,
a booth
yes.
at the Antique Mall as well.
Yes,
Yes,
she does.
yes. Vernon DePaw is our wood carver. He's been with us also
Every year.
almost every year. There was one year he missed.
And we brought one of these little whirly gigs that kind of jumps and rolls and bounces.
It has a hole in the bottom. It's made to go on a stake.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and go outside. So it will dance,
As the wind blows.
it'll whirl and gig. The gig is the dance. So they're called whirly gigs. This is Abraham Lincoln. Oh, no, it's Uncle Sam.
And he has a lot of things.
Yeah.
One of Vernon's specialty things that he's known for over the years is recreating carvings of American eagles. Some of them 6 and 8 feet wide, and with actually the gold leaf on them. And we're fortunate enough to have a couple of his in our studio and also in our home. And he's done those for people in all walks of both military and political life across the country. Often people get them as special gifts, and he will have a nice collection of those.
That's
I don't
nice,
have
yeah.
any of the work of Vernon's wife, Kathy. Kathy DePaw is an artisan in miniature quilts.
Oh, my. that would
These
be
are
nice.
good for table runners, for doll beds, for lamp mats, whatever you might need a small hunk of fabric. And she does it all by hand, no machine. hand cut, hand pieced, hand stitched, and hand quilted. I ain't doing that. Not, sewing is not my thing. So Kathy will be here with her husband Vernon, and we're excited to have her work to show off too. She also does some decorative small pillows.
Oh, cool.
Some of them she'll cross stitch sayings on and stuff, so that'll be fun to see what she's come up with new as well. We brought a couple of our St. Genevieve ornaments, the historic St. Genevieve. Here, bring you guys this way. So we have the historic St. Genevieve fleur-de-lis in the wreath, and then this is our St. Genevieve Catholic
Oh,
Church.
that's a new one, isn't it?
Yeah, and so.
You want to hold that up again?
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
He just finished
So-
fleur-de-lis. Now he's on the church, yeah.
So both of these, I'll hold them both up. Well, maybe I can, maybe I can't. Both of these are our design, but the masters that we use to make our molds were produced by another local artisan, Jill Kennick of Acropolis Studios. She's out by Midway, and she is the recent past president of the International Model Makers Association.
Oh, my word.
She does work for Tiffany, she does a lot of movie and set work.
Prototyping and design work,
Mm-hmm.
architectural pieces, including reproductions of like Art Nouveau hinges for houses that they might have one hinge and others are lost. She'll create them a model of that can then be cast in bronze and then put on doors.
So how
Yes.
long has she been around here?
She came actually before we were here.
9 or 10
Does she
years.
live
Yeah,
out
just-
on Hennick Road?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I know where she is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and she does a wonderful job, and we actually knew her for many years, and she did projects for us before she moved down here, and before we moved here.
Oh, my word.
We hadn't actually met in person until we came to town.
Until we
Oh,
went
isn't
back
that
here.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did business for almost 20 years before we even met.
Oh, my.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
So that's our group this year. 8 very talented, amazing artists. We are looking forward to just a ton of fun. This event, like I said, this is our 19th year, and we put a lot into it, but we get a lot out of it. It's just so much fun to have people come in, mingle with the artists. It's not like an arts and crafts show where you don't have time to talk to anybody,
Right.
you know. So it's never so big or so crowded or so busy that you can't just spend time and find out what people are doing and talk to people about what you might want that's your special thing. The only thing I will tell people is all of this work is handmade. That means there's one of.
Right.
Now, there might be something similar, but there's one of. You want the best selection? Come early, because people are going to come and buy, and I mean, that's, my artists come back every year because it's fun, but they make money.
And
You know,
that's-
this is how we make our
right.
living, so we can't just be having fun. We gotta have some profit there too. And so we do get a good number of public coming through and supporting all of us, and for that we appreciate the public, because we can't do it without you. So
That's right, yeah.
it doesn't do us any good to make it.
If
Somebody's
it's
gotta come
going
want
nowhere,
it.
yeah. Yeah. So you want to tell a little bit, if you're finished with that right
Sure.
now? Do you want to talk, you want to do this too?
Sure.
Here.
Here, we got more.
They're hard to see because they're small,
I-
and maybe he can.
You know what,
Maybe just
That's-
describe it. you
I will
know.
take one out of the case and see if that helps.
Maybe you can zone in on that, Charlie, on that little coin. Yeah,
So,
thank you.
can you see it? This is our Eclipse coin. We, in case anybody has been under a rock or something, there is another total eclipse of the sun coming April 8th, 2024. St. Genevieve is again the longest period of dark. This time we are expected to have 4 minutes and 11 seconds of dark. In 2017, when we made an eclipse coin for that eclipse, the 3 days of the eclipse, day before, day of, day after, Tom hand struck 600 coins. We thought we'd get an early start this time. So we have the St. Genevieve with the fleur-de-lis and the phases of the sun. And then on the back we have the, whoops, here, let me drop it. We have the sun and the moon for the eclipse symbol. And again, these are available in our shop even now. And they will be continue to be available through the eclipse date, April 8th, 2024, right about noontime.
There's also a few available at the
Museum and Learning
Museum
Center.
and Learning Center.
The
here in town.
Learning Museum.
Yep, there's some available
That's
there.
a pretty busy place also.
Yes.
Can be, yeah.
Yes.
And so, and if you get a chance to come by, we have a local young lady who's been with us for a little over a year. We created a apprentice training and teaching program that's been recognized by the federal government as a school. And we have a young lady locally who is goes to SEMO and works for us when she's not in school, and she's completed a little over a year of that program, working towards her 600 hours. 6,000 hours, I'm sorry, of
6,000.
training and teaching.
6,000
She just made a new mold today, and you come by and say hi to Flynn if you get an opportunity when you're there, and just torment her a little bit. And she's a delightful person, and it's another smiley face in the shop besides us.
That's nice, and your kitty cats.
And the kitty cats. Oh, yeah, you
Kitty
got to
cats.
come see Mozzie.
Yeah.
He totally believes that's the only reason anyone ever walks in the front door is to love on him. He's not wrong.
Yeah, and I might add, these coins are beautiful. Yes,
Thank you.
yes, very, very, very pretty. Yeah. So if you want to talk about your business, how you came to St. Gen, and
Yeah,
some
we-
people that are
we
listening
actually
might not
knew-
know that, yeah.
Well, we actually knew that we wanted to develop the pewter foundry instead of having other people make things for us. And in the early 90s, we started working on moving to someplace that was compatible with what we wanted to do. And we moved to Missouri in the winter of '95, when that really nasty winter when all the cows' ears were breaking off down in Texas. It was cold and really
Bad
windy
choice.
and nasty here. But that was our first Midwest winter, and it was a little bit of a culture shock from California.
It was rough.
And after a while, we actually sold the business that we had come to Missouri with to do the pewter full-time. We developed that into a full-fledged business and brought that working business to St. Genevieve in 8 years ago. So that was 2005.
No,
2015. I'm sorry.
2015.
2015, yeah, we lost a decade.
We bought the building in 2014 and
Anyway, yeah.
officially opened up January of 2015.
And since then, it's been a little interesting because we would do lots of arts and crafts shows, which is that kind of the nature of a lot of artisan-based businesses. You have a store where you make things, or your home, and you have a gallery or workshop where you exhibit, and then you often do arts and crafts shows or create websites. And so we have the best of both worlds. We have a working gallery where we make everything, and we have an opportunity to sell it here in St. Genevieve, as well as go out and do arts and crafts shows and sell to stores and galleries all across America. At one time with our other business, we had over 900 wholesale accounts. But that's changed, and COVID has changed a lot of things for us. And we have actually only doing one show a year now from COVID. So we are pretty much in St. Genevieve, the shop open every day.
And that's great.
And we make things there, and store owners and gallery owners call us. We make things and ship it off to them through our website or Etsy store. We make things and ship them, and and our lovely post office is very good about picking things up and getting them out for us. And so we're there pretty 7 days a week, and we have a complete foundry where we're actually casting. We have melt pots to melt the pewter. It's nice because it's pretty safe in that it melts at 465 degrees, so we're not using temperatures like you would use to melt steel or bronze or aluminum. And the hottest thing in the shop is 700 degrees, so it's just a little bit hotter than being in a pizza oven.
A little bit.
And we do our own sculpting, our own metal spinning, our own welding fabrication, and casting, all there in the shop. And so everything, when you walk in the door, everything that's pewter in there starts off as either an ingot that we melt down to cast with, a flat sheet that we push over wooden forms like the mug here on the table, and then wire that we weld the handles and things onto pieces. And we work together. Pat has certain specialties that she does, the fine detailed cleanup work and casting most of the things that are under fist size. I kind of do the casting of the things that are bigger than that, and the mold making and the metal spinning, and combining those things together, are we able to create an entire product line.
Having an apprentice, she's been able to assist both of us on each of our strengths.
Well, that's
And
great.
I don't know, we didn't say her name. It's Flynn Tucker.
I did.
Did you
I said
say that? Okay. So some of you might know her. She went to school here. She's now at SEMO, and she is an art major. And so having someone who understands the metal, isn't afraid of the equipment. She's not afraid of anything, as far as I can tell. It's been a delight. We've had employees before, most of whom have had drawbacks in specific things. Like, oh, I don't like working with the saw, or gosh, the hot metal scares me, or whatever. And I get that. But to work in an artisan-based business, you have to understand the medium you're working in, and be basically fearless about what you're doing. And she is. So we're having a great time.
Well, that's wonderful, yeah.
And so that's in St. Genevieve is just it's a great melting pot for small businesses, and we just need to get the word out and have more people come into town. And a lot of the local people shop local. Don't need to go to Festus or Farmington or down to Cape or up to St. Louis. There's a lot of wonderful small galleries here in town. Many of them are owned by people who live right here, and it's good to take your time and get to know your neighbors and get to know what they're doing and help support their businesses.
Right. St. Genevieve's full of talented people
It is.
in every,
Well, and
Oh, yeah.
the
Everything.
history was important to us. I think Tom mentioned we moved in December of '95, and our first stop in Missouri was Salem. And it was probably middle of '96 when we first heard about St. Genevieve. So it's been on our radar for a while.
I think it
But like anyone running a business, it's a matter of finding the right building at the right price at the right time. And so when that all came together for us, here we were.
Well, it falls in
The
place.
first time we came to St. Genevieve was in '97, and we came to Jour de Fête and actually had a booth at it.
Oh, really?
Down in the park. And so we remember that very well, and many times over the years we've come down and stayed at the Southern Hotel when it was open with Mike, and we brought friends from Belgium that are fourth generation pewterers that helped teach us how to do what we're doing.
Oh, isn't
When they
that
came to
wonderful?
America, we brought them down here for a couple of days, and they really loved the area because it reminded them of some of the wine growing regions in the Moselle Valley up there near where they lived.
Yeah, we have a very varied countryside.
Boy.
It does, I mean, the reason the Germans settled here was because it looked like the Rhine and Mosel valleys. And they went, well, this looks like home, we'll stop here.
Yeah. And the same with France, when we
Yeah.
were over there.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the
everything looked-
countryside is
Yeah,
similar.
it really reminded me of St. Genevieve County, yeah,
So,
yeah.
So it's, you know, we're delighted to be here. You know, we're in it for the long haul, so.
And that's a good thing. yeah.
That's a good thing.
So, the apprentice, when she gets out of school, is she going to stay with you, or?
well,
That's our
Or
hope.
you don't know?
That really is up to her. It's a 3-year program with approximately 6,000 hours, and it's up to her. We're working with her on teaching her all the skills she needs to be completely self-sufficient if she wants to be. But if Flynn decides that she wants to join in our business, there's always going to be a place for her. And so it's just a matter of finding what everybody's needs are and make sure everybody's happy.
Exactly. If you're not happy in your job,
Right, and
It's not
that's,
good.
and
Not
it
good
is a lot of work, and we're still working 7 days a week. We took 2 days off earlier this winter, during the heart of winter, and as we're getting a little older, we're finding that sometimes we appreciate those days off.
I can relate to that.
But you know,
Yeah.
there's the part of me too as a merchant that goes, okay, what days do I take off? Do I take off Monday and Tuesday? Oh man, we had a really good Monday. I don't want to be closed on Monday. Maybe I'll take off Sunday. Oh, but nobody else is open on Sunday and we get tons of people.
Yeah,
So,
it's a hard decision.
yeah,
You
it
know,
is a challenge.
Many years ago, the whole town used to shut down on Wednesday afternoon. They would work in the morning, close in the afternoon, because they were open on Saturday.
Sure.
And they got family time and relaxed time in the middle of the week, yeah. And of course, they had Sunday off too. And I always thought that was really good. When we were being raised, my dad had a business, and it was always nice to have him home,
Sure,
you know, in the afternoon. yeah.
sure.
Because we used to either do something as a family, in the summertime, we go swimming out in a creek somewhere.
Sure.
Or,
Well, that's, and we're really, we're seeing a lot of families now, this time of year, traveling together from,
That's great.
from, all over the country. They're here, some from the region from the national park, others they found things that they thought they might want to come do here. Sometimes when the weather's bad, we get people who are camping out at Hahn that decide they don't want to camp when it's wet and hot. And so we get a lot of people in town, and since we're generally open 7 days a week, we get to see a lot more variety of people than I think the people that have
Than most people,
more
yeah.
regular hours. And we enjoy talking to people from all over, and it's real interesting. And so, some days we'll have people from 4 or 5 different countries.
I know,
in the
isn't
shop.
it amazing
Yeah,
how
it's-
they come to St. Genevieve? Like, how in the world did you ever find St. Genevieve?
Well, we had a wonderful Chinese family come in a while back.
That was fun.
And they were meeting here, but part of the family was from Michigan, and they were in some other place in, I think, Arizona, but they met here.
And some of them came from
and
China.
Some came from China and met here
As a destination.
as a destination. And the young man that was with them, he had actually played on Broadway
Oh, my.
and played the part of the Phantom in Phantom of the Opera, and he was actually sang in our shop.
Oh,
And Pat
my.
was able to sing with him,
So much
and they had a wonderful time.
Oh, I bet.
So much fun. Oh, but you never know. I mean, and we see a lot of people who say, wow, this is my first time here. I'm coming back. Boy, do I love this
Yeah.
town. And so,
And look how many have moved here in
Yeah.
the last 3 or 4 years.
yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Well,
so
yeah,
many.
so a lot of people ask, are there any houses for sale? And we'll
They're
we'll
just
check that
hard.
out. So there's hardly any houses for sale.
Right, they sell so fast.
Yeah.
There are hardly any commercial buildings available, even vacant to rent. You know,
And that's,
it's just-
and that very
that's
few
wonderful.
communities of our size, especially if they're not right on a highway or something, can say that they have these places that are, most of their storefronts are empty.
Yeah,
And we have a
it's
really
sad, yeah.
wonderful, opportunity here for people that are, keeping their stores open and to have businesses, because everybody's open and it seems considerably more vibrant than going into other small towns.
And you
I
get-
think, if you have a business, you gotta be there. I mean, you
Yeah.
gotta,
Yeah, well, we just encourage everybody to keep open the hours that they can, and make it make the customer and tourist experience as well as they can. There's a lot of wonderful shops here, and we send people all over, and I know a lot
I
of the
have a
stores
stack of maps.
have maps in their store, we just circle, you are here, and you asked about this and this and this, here they are, and orient the map to where the streets are, and point them out the door, and
Yeah.
hope that they find what they're looking for.
and people are so appreciative of that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, where do you like to eat? Well, there's not a bad place in St. John. Eat anywhere.
No,
Yeah,
really,
it-
yeah.
If you want
Well, you
this
just-
type, go there, and if you want this type,
Well,
go
Well, and I
there.
always tell them, I try not to play favorites. I
Well-
do try to give them their options, but it's like, you want fried chicken? You are not gonna get better fried chicken than the Old Brick.
And a lot of times they'll say, we'll go, okay, what day is it? Because we have some that up on Oliver's and other places like that.
Oh,
that
yeah.
haven't been around as much.
They're
And
fun.
then,
love
but we have to,
that, yeah.
but there, I think there's Wednesdays, they're open Wednesdays or Thursdays through the weekend. So we have to think about what
Who's
is
open
today?
when, yeah.
Because when we're working 7 days a week, the days get muddled for us.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Or is it Meatloaf Thursday
Or is
at
it meat-
Anvil?
So we try to remember what the specials are and send them there, or now that Sarah's open for ice cream, a lot of people,
I've had
Go
3
there,
people
yeah.
this last week ask me, where do I get ice cream?
Right down the street,
yep.
yeah.
So
Here, it's right here on the map.
And another place that's kind of out of the way, but they have a really good food, is Cafe Genevieve.
Yeah, Cafe Genevieve up there,
Their
and
food is, everything's good
and
there.
some of them are trying to find Stella's down there. It's kind of
Yes.
hidden away a little bit, but I think people are
And I
are
love,
willing.
love El Potosino.
Yeah.
Love them, our newish
The
Mexican place.
newest place,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's fun because you kind of put people in the general direction where they want to go and let them find their own treasures.
Right.
Because they love to do that, because then they do the discovering. It hasn't
Yeah,
been
when they
presented
say,
to 'em.
what's your favorite place to eat? I said, I don't really know. I like all the food everywhere, and we do go
And I-
to all the
Yeah.
restaurants, yeah.
Yeah, and
Love Mimi's for breakfast.
Yes.
yeah, and so you don't know what, just say, okay, what do you want to eat? And they say, well, something really French. Well,
All right, there you got me.
I'd like to, that we need somebody that makes crepes on a regular basis. That would be something.
And they used to do that when in St. Jiminy down there.
Yeah.
They used to have
So,
a
well,
breakfast with crepes.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, when Jan and Kathy had it.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was so good.
Yeah, I've had their dinners and their breakfasts.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and the nice thing is there's such a variety of things to eat, and that people can find stuff, and usually they're not so busy that they have to wait.
Right.
And they've said that they're, why aren't you busier? And why isn't the town busier? And we can say, well, tell your friends and bring them back here. So,
Yeah,
Well, wonderful.
everybody that stops in at the Art Guild, they are so appreciative of the building. Sometimes they get, oh, I thought this was a museum.
Well,
No,
it
you
was
go
a
right
while
over
back.
there for the museum.
Yeah.
It used to be here, but now it's over there, yeah.
Yeah.
and sometimes you take them out the front door and point and go, see that blue sign over there? See, and they, your town is so small. Yeah, it is small, but you have, you can walk around the streets very
It's
easily.
loaded, yeah,
You know,
loaded
is.
with stuff,
So
Yeah.
it's great.
yeah. So,
So,
Well, thank you,
well, thank you.
our
And-
pleasure.
Yeah, and thank you for bringing all the wares, so people
oh,
can
no,
have
no
an
problem.
idea
Well,
of what.
these are actually all things in our collection
And this is
that
stuff I own.
that we've purchased from these
Oh,
artists.
from the artist.
Yeah,
Oh,
these are
okay.
mine.
So, yeah, so,
You can't buy
No,
these
you can get
because they
something
belong
like
to the
that. These are
Hoopers.
mine.
Yeah. Well, I buy a lot of your little Christmas ornaments. I think
Thank
they're
you.
so precious.
yeah, we
I
try
have
to
to
make,
get some of that at church.
we try to make new ones every year.
Yeah.
And so,
That was fun doing the church with Jill because we've done some buildings of St. Genevieve that are essentially a line drawing, photo engraved onto just an oval.
Oh,
And then the information about the building on the back. And we did half a dozen of those pretty early on, probably 2016 or so. And we wanted to expand a little bit, and we knew that the church was a building that we wanted to do. And we talked to Jill, and we're going, I don't want just an outline. And I don't want just the outside of the building, because
Or
the
just the
inside is
steeple.
so special.
It
And,
is.
you know, and Jill's going, but you gotta have the steeple, because that's what people know. Yeah, but, and so I talked to Jill like a theater person, and I said, what if we get rid of the fourth wall? And so you're standing there looking at the building, but you're seeing the inside, and she goes,
Yeah.
I can do that.
Like
And she went over and talked to Father Nemeth and said, do you mind if I take some pictures and we do this ornament? And he gave permission, and
well, how
and this is
great.
what we came up with, so we're
Yeah.
showing the inside as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely come and get some of those.
I love them.
Well, wonderful.
Yeah. So you got a good supply of them?
Yeah,
Oh, always.
well, and if I don't, I can within a couple of days.
Yeah.
I made some for our event, but I'm not gonna say they're gonna stay very long.
Right.
Well, we make things every day, and that's the thing, is just, we don't know from what day to the next. The phone rings, or somebody places an order on the internet, and if we don't have it, that's what we're making that day.
That's what we're making. Except for the lady that ordered yesterday. She ordered napkin rings, which I do not have, and she's gotten them before. And I said, they are not happening this weekend. You'll get them in about 2 weeks. And she said, oh, that's fine.
Well, we also
Well, they
have,
know what they want and
Yeah.
they call, yeah.
and like everybody else, we have some of our supply issues. We have one customer that gets a mug like that one for his, he has a brew pub in Austin, Texas. And he-
Except it's only a pint instead of 3 pints.
But he orders 100 at a time,
Oh, my goodness.
and he's
That's good.
ordered somewhere near 1,500 of them. Oh, and we've been selling to him for over 10 years. So he'll order 100 of them, but my suppliers, it used to be 2 weeks till we get materials, now it's 3 and 4 weeks or 5 weeks.
Isn't that sad?
You know, and so, you know, and that's with everybody. So we've actually, over the last few years, began accumulating things. You know, in other words, you have to order a dozen, well, we order 2 dozen
Mhm.
of something, just so we have extra things on
On
inventory.
stock, yeah. Yeah, those are really neat mugs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It really does hold 3 pints.
Yep.
In parts of the British Isles, notably in Ireland, one of the ways they call closing time at a pub is they'll say, it's 3 pints gone, gentlemen.
Oh.
So sometimes we call that 3 pints gone, since it is 3 pints. It's also one of the ways where here we say, he's 3 sheets to the wind. There, they'll say, he's 3 pints gone. So he's had his 3 pints and he's,
Yeah,
yeah.
He's stumbling
away.
home.
yeah. Time to exit.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I appreciate you having us here.
Well, we
This
appreciate you
evening.
coming,
And,
It's
for
our
sure,
pleasure.
yeah.
and
Always like to promote our businesses in town.
Sure.
It's a special place and I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
you betcha.
Been here forever, yeah.
I'm feeling that way, and I haven't been here that long. I'm
Yeah.
still the newbie. But we do love it.
Okay, yeah. So, your event, you want to
Sure.
reiterate that?
It's
Yeah.
the Early American Life Traditional Artisans Showcase and Sale. It will be this weekend, the 15th and 16th of July, from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., both days, at ASL Pewter, 183 South 3rd Street, St. Genevieve, 63670. If you need to call us, the phone number is 573-883-2095.
Right. And also, you might inform people this is on YouTube.
Oh, this?
This
Oh,
show
okay.
is on YouTube, yes.
All righty. I will let people
You can Google
know.
it and work, I mean, they can watch it if they want to see
I
it.
will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're at the Old Brick, you go, if you're facing the Old Brick, you go to the right, and they're located right across the street.
Right across the street from the Southern Hotel.
Right.
So, yep, Old Brick, on Market, hang a right, that's us.
Wonderful.
And it's a very interesting building also, not just the inside, but the
It
outside
is.
of it's
It
very,
is.
very neat. Yeah.
What we have learned in the time we've been here, the oldest part of the building is an ice house at the very end of the hall that was built in about 1800. It was the Tomure Ice House. The main portion of the building was a livery stable built in about 1820. And at one point, it was the Vorst livery. Well, for a lot of its life, it was the Vorst livery stable. And the Vorst family pretty much owned the entire block in the mid-1800s. And then the room that's our gallery, the front room, was the yard of the livery stable. It was turned into a room in 1939. And if you're in the building and you look down the hall, you'll see a stone arch, which is actually a tunnel. You're underground at that point, and the tunnel was dug in 1904 to connect the ice house and the livery stable. It took them almost 100 years to figure out that that was an easier way to get ice out with the horses and wagons rather than to use pulleys and ice hooks to
Oh,
pull
good.
it back up from the third floor.
Yep, sometimes it takes,
It took them a while. But it's a really interesting building, and we live in the upstairs portion. I pinch myself every morning because I can't believe I actually live and work in this, not just this town, but that building in particular, because there's just so much
right.
to that building. I love it.
And
I
then when
love-
you walk out on the deck outside, you can see the whole town.
Yeah.
All the rooftops,
Yeah.
everything, yeah.
Yeah, we have a second floor deck and a third floor deck, and we watched the last eclipse from our third floor deck, which we'll probably do this time, and you can see the entire skyline of the town
You
from here.
can.
It's so much fun.
It's neat, yep. We had the opportunity one time to go up there and look at it, yeah. When they were making the office building out of it, I mean, when it was, I guess that was empty when you bought it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they had moved out.
Yeah.
The place that was gonna do that, yeah. So,
Yeah.
okay, that's
All right.
enough history, so.
Okay.
Want to tell everybody goodbye? Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks for
very much. Appreciate you
watching.
Yeah.
Come see us,
Yeah, come say hi on the street.
Yeah, be sure to come this weekend. There's
This
a lot
weekend.
going on,
I
right?
betcha.
and we'll have refreshments.
And food's always good.
Food's a good thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I might even have some wine.